African National Congress today celebrates its 113th anniversary with the annual January 8 celebration set for this Saturday. This year, the party has opted for a smaller location, the Mandela Park Sports Field in Khayelitsha, instead of the traditionally larger venues used in the past. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will deliver the January 8 statement, where he is expected to outline the party's key priorities for the year ahead. Let's now reflect on the significant day for the party with the ANC's Limpopo chairperson, Stan Mathabatha. A very good morning to you, Deputy Minister, and thank you so much for making time for us this morning. A happy birthday to the ANC. What's your reflection of this party that you have joined?
Good morning to you, Aldrin, and good morning to the listeners. And happy birthday to all Makongoros, to the African National Congress. Aldrin, certainly, my reflection is that there are a lot of good things that the African National Congress has done to develop this society and this country, in fact, to develop this country and its society and its people in the past 30 years. And equally, there are very fundamental mistakes that the African National Congress committed during this period of 30 years, which puts us to where we are today, to this 40% that we are facing of election victory. I call it election victory because we are still the largest party in parliament. But at the same time, maybe if one has to unpack this conundrum that I'm raising currently, because sometimes somebody may see it as sort of a contradiction of some sort. The African National, if you look at the empirical evidence that is out there for everybody to see, you'll realize that there's been a lot of development since 1994 to date, more especially in rural areas. If you go to Limpopo today, you look at the infrastructure that is there. You look at the old small door called Petersburg that we used to have prior to 1994, and look to what the city called Polokwane today. The infrastructure that is within that city, you'll see that the African National Congress has done a lot of good things in this country. You go to the rural villages, there is no longer much of a difference between the rural villages and the townships of Limpopo. In particular, I'm concentrating on Limpopo for now, but I know it's all over the country. There's not very significant differences any longer when you look at the dwellings, the type of houses that our people are building in these rural areas, and the type of houses that people are building in townships and towns. You look at places where it was basically not even thought of that you'll have a tap. For example, the whole Skukwini prior to 1994, the whole Skukwini, where you've got about 105,000 people, there was only one TAT road there in that area. But today, almost every access road is TAT. That shows you that a lot of things, if you go into education, the whole of Skukwini had about 7, if not 8 high schools prior to 1994. Today, every village has got a high school. As a result, you no longer even have a need to take your people to boarding schools because you've got high schools within walking distances. You look at the hospitals that we built, but equally, we committed mistakes, Aldrin, very fundamental mistakes. We had good plans that we could not implement because of these mistakes. The main issue that one would want to raise is, for example, we planned in a proactive and developmental manner, but when we came to budgeting, we were more philanthropic than developmental. I hope you get me when I said that. Our plans did not talk to the budget. You had the RDP, but you did not budget for the RDP. You budgeted for something else. You took the funds, the money, to build people houses instead of helping people to build their own houses, using the money to help people to build their own houses. We actually built houses for them, which in my view was sort of a contradiction in terms of matching the budget and the plans that we had. Hence, I'm saying we were sort of more philanthropic than developmental in terms of planning. That is the biggest mistake that we committed. And two was to destroy the good structures that we had established to exert the authority of the state. For example, the Scorpions. You remember the Scorpions? I still believe it was a fundamental mistake to do away with the Scorpions.
Why do you say that? Because actually that resolution was actually taken at the Limpopo, the Polokwane conference in 2007. You were there.
I was there. Hence, I'm saying...
Make us understand,
Hence, Aldrin, I'm owning up to the mistake, Hence, I'm saying it was a mistake. I'm owning up to it. That time, perhaps with hindsight, I would say we shouldn't have taken that resolution. But at that time, I believed it was the correct decision. But with hindsight, hindsight is always is more often than not a very good side. You see.
Yeah.
So hence I'm saying, had we not taken that decision, perhaps the authority of the state could not have been undermined as it is today, where you would have your construction mafias doing whatever they are doing today and discrediting the authority of this government.
Yeah. So early on, you were speaking about the development that has been seen in Limpopo, and we're going to focus on the province that you're the provincial chairperson of for the ANC. One of the issues that was raised by the Statistician General Risenga Mululeka about 2 years ago was that Limpopo, of all the provinces, is the biggest contributor to the Gauteng population. So if there's such huge developments that are taking place in Limpopo, why are we still seeing so many people leaving Limpopo and rather prefer to go to other provinces, and the major provinces that receives that migration is Gauteng?
Exactly what I'm talking about. The plans that did not have the budget matching with the plans. So in our case, we created a lot of jobs. Make no mistake, Aldrin. We created a lot of jobs. And equally, we developed a lot of graduates. But at the same time, the kind of graduates that we developed in the province and in the country as a whole were not the kind of graduates that the economy of the province wanted. Let me give you an example, Aldrin. We've got, Limpopo is a mining province. We've got almost every mineral that is mined in this country in Limpopo, except manganese only. But you don't even have a single mining school in Limpopo. You get my point. So you develop, your education doesn't talk to the needs of your economy. The education system doesn't talk to the needs of the economy. Hence, you produce a lot of graduates that cannot get jobs in Limpopo. And you go to Beggarsford, you get people who are coming from Lesotho, people who are coming from Zimbabwe, people who are coming from Gauteng, people who are coming from the Eastern Cape. Many people you go to Lephalale, same thing. Those are mining towns. Why? Because we are unable to produce those people in the province, because we don't have the kind of resources to then develop schools of that nature, and we don't have the competency as a provincial government. That competence is supposed to be a competence of the national government.
Yeah.
As a result, that is why I am saying our plans are indeed developmental, but the budget doesn't talk to the plans.
Yeah. I want to bring up another matter that unfortunately happened also during your tenure, and that is the VBS saga, and you had to deal with it. The provincial PEC had to deal with it. You came under a lot of flack as well, eventually by some of the alliance members, especially with the appointment of Florence Radzelani as part of your provincial cabinet at the time when you were still premier. Do you think that the party has dealt with that matter properly?
I think as the PEC, we have done everything that we can. But I must accept that that was a very, very unfortunate saga. The VBS saga was a very unfortunate saga that had happened in the province. Though it happened at local government level, but I collectively, I think we must all take responsibility that perhaps we should have done better. We did everything that we can do. Remember, immediately after that saga came, it caught us flat-footed because it happened at local government. And as you know, the provincial government doesn't have competence over local government. Local government, the mayors report to their councillors, they don't report to the premier. Their councillors, they don't report to the premier. So as the ANC, because it was our comrades who were implicated there, we then said, let us appoint a private company that will do forensic audit and find out exactly what happened in this VBS matter. And we did that. And that forensic audit came. It came with recommendations. Aldrin, we implemented every single recommendation that came out of that report. And 7 mayors were relieved from their responsibility. My apologies. I'm recovering from flu.
Sure.
I'm sorry for that. Sorry. So we had to relieve 7 mayors from their responsibilities, including the comrade that we are talking about. But remember, Aldrin, we are a constitutional country, and the ANC is also a constitutional body. It has its own constitution. Now, if you go to conference and conference says, we want this person that was removed as a mayor to become a deputy chairperson. As a premier or a chairperson of the leadership of the movement in that province, there was absolutely nothing that we could do. Organizational discipline dictated to us that we must comply with the resolution of conference. And that is exactly what we did.
Okay. And again, this matter, of course, coming back again last year with Minister Thembi Simelane. There was a report in the Sunday World that during the commission of the Integrity Commission's investigation around this matter, that the minister had said that before she was appointed as the deputy minister, there was a conversation that had taken place between yourself as well as the President Cyril Ramaphosa, relating to Gundo investment. Can you confirm if that conversation did happen indeed?
A conversation relating to what?
A conversation that took place between yourself as well as the President. This is as the President wanted to appoint Thembi Simelane as deputy minister at the time. This is back in August 2021. Can you confirm if that conversation did happen and whether or not the matter around Gundo investment was raised during that meeting between yourself as well as the President?
I can't remember exactly what we discussed, but we used to discuss a lot with the President, including when he had to appoint anybody from the province into cabinet. The President would consult with me as the chairperson of the province. A lot of things, we discussed a lot of things. I don't remember about the Gundi investment. But what I know is that Comrade Thembi had assured me, I discussed with her several times about this, and she had assured me that there was nothing untoward. And I had no reason to doubt what she was saying, because if you look at the allegations that were made, nobody came with substantial evidence to prove that Comrade Thembi did 1, 2, 3. So, it would have had we came out and say we want to take Comrade Thembi on this matter, it would be as if we are sort of I wouldn't say splitting hairs. We are sort of speculating, or perhaps what, I don't know. I don't know what was the right way to say. We couldn't just speculate and say this person did 1, 2, 3 without having tangible evidence about what she did. Sorry. And up till now, I don't have any reason to believe that indeed she misled us or she did anything wrong that way. I've got no reason to say that.
Yeah. So a reshuffle came as a bit of a surprise?
Yes, I would say it came as a bit of a surprise, because really, I did not expect it to happen. But remember, the president is the president's prerogative to do whatever he would want to do. And I think obviously the president would know much better than I do the reason why he is doing that. Perhaps he may be doing it in terms of protecting the credibility of the comrade, or in terms of making sure that he opens space for whoever would want to make investigation, to do thorough investigation without the comrade being seen to be tampering with the evidence. You wouldn't know. I remember, I'm just throwing bones here, despite the fact that I'm not a traditional healer.
No, totally understand. But thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it. Stan Mathabatha is the ANC provincial chairperson who led the province of Limpopo, securing around 73.30% of the electoral vote in the province, making it the highest electoral fortune for the ANC compared to any other province. So we'll continue